everyone, and welcome to the first pattern haul on my channel, and it is a real doozy of a pattern haul because if I recall correctly there are over 250 patterns featured in this video. This lot of patterns kind of came to me, like literally it was shipped to me, but the person selling them found me through a Facebook group where I was showing interest in some other 1940s larger size patterns. They told me that they had a lot of those and a lot of other patterns that they were looking to sell in a large lot for a relatively reasonable price. And by reasonable, I mean several $100s because we're talking about several hundred patterns here, but it was reasonable, I thought, given the quantity of patterns. I ended up purchasing all of her 1960s and earlier patterns, and a week later they arrived in a giant box, and in this video I go through that giant box. I hope you enjoy seeing my reactions to all of these designs as well as the designs themselves. I know I enjoyed filming this, so hopefully you will enjoy watching it too.
I have zoomed out as far as I possibly can, and you still cannot see barely even a quarter of this box. I'd say it's like 30 inches by 24 inches by 12 inches. And it is completely full of patterns. I believe there are over 300 patterns in here. There should be 302 to be exact. 2/3 of them are from Simplicity and the rest of them are from other brands. I did not see very many pictures of this lot prior to buying it, so I don't know what the sizes are going to be like, what the styles are going to be like, or anything like that, but I'm eager to find out, and we're going to find out together because I'm going to be unboxing all of these patterns with all of you. So right on top here we have a pretty beat up Simplicity pattern, though the tissue appears to be in good shape, and this is for a darted pencil skirt for a waist of 28 inches. Next up we have this size 12 nightgown. It's actually a really cute house robe nightgown. It almost looks like a dress once you have it belted. And actually I take it back, the number is 402. The way it was folded made it look like a size 12, but it's actually size 16. Here we have a 1940s pattern for a gorgeous 40s dress for a bust of 40 inches and a hip of 23 inches, which is a pretty rare size to come across. Up here we have what feels to be in very good condition, or missing pieces, one or the other, a very flat feeling envelope either way, and this is from the 60s. It's for a tennis style dress, or at least that's what that makes me think of, and it's in a size 18 for a 40-inch bust. We have a size 15 dolman sleeve blouse pattern here, probably from the late 40s or very early 50s. If this was in my size, I'd be tempted to keep it. I think it's really cute, and I like that it has a seam at the front. This is a 27-inch waist circle slash pencil slash suspender skirt pattern, so it looks like you have quite a few options there. This is a size 15 dress pattern from the 1950s, and again you have a couple options here. It looks like you can make a full skirted dress, a pencil or a fitted dress, and then you can also make kind of a long sleeve bolero, or they refer to it as being a jacket. Here's a relatively simple size 16.5 pattern, which is a petite or stout size, depending on who you ask. Half sizes tend to be proportioned for shorter figures, and they also have slightly larger than usual measurements. I really like the simplicity of this pattern. It's just a kind of lightly flared jumper dress or skirt, and then you've got a blouse to go underneath it. This is a battered envelope, but the pattern looks to be in okay condition, and it's for a really cute pencil skirt. I love these pockets. They kind of come out from the base of the darts, and it's just really flattering and interesting, and I like that they have an asymmetrical option. It's a size 14, again, early 50s style dress, and I love the neckline on this. I don't think it's particularly flattering, but I do think it's really, really interesting. And it's got a gored skirt, which is awesome because it means you don't need particularly wide fabric to make it. This is one I will be highly tempted to keep for myself. It's a beautiful 40s pattern by Simplicity in a size 20 for a 38-inch bust. You have this gorgeous kind of circular style flared skirt, and then you can make it with either bishop sleeves or short sleeves with a high collar or this really lovely double collar. Whether or not I keep this probably depends on the condition. If it's missing any pieces, then I will definitely keep it for myself because it won't sell for much, but size 20s are so hard to come across. I kind of want someone else to be able to own it too, so we'll see. Speaking of size 20s, here's another size 20 Simplicity pattern. It's another style I really, really like and will be sorely tempted to keep for myself. The only reason I think I'll sell this is because it has a pleat at the front, and I really don't like ironing pleats. It's fine ironing them when you're constructing the garment, but after washing it or laundering it, I really don't like having that upkeep. So I'll probably sell this one. I've actually come across this pattern before in a smaller size. It's got a really interesting kind of top-stitched angular yoke detail, but again, this is in a size 20, so it's for a 38-inch bust, which is pretty great. This one's all the way in a size 44, and this actually feels like it might be factory folded. This is a stunning dress. If this was a bit smaller, I'd definitely keep this. You've got these really interesting tucks at the front, and then a sweetheart style neckline with little bows at the corners. You have lovely lightly flared sleeves, or you can do this kind of elbow length bishop sleeved option. So that's just lovely, and it's a 44-inch bust, which is awesome. That's such an unusual size to come across. Here we have a size 12, which is a very common size to come across. And this pattern looks to be in pretty good shape, though the envelope itself is not. And you can make either a very full skirt or a fitted skirt with a high square neckline bodice. Now, it looks like there's a long sleeve option here. Oh, actually, it's a jacket option in here as well. This pattern I've actually come across and sold before, but it was in a larger size. Feels like it might be factory folded. Actually, no, it appears to be cut. They must have had quite a bit of work stuffing it back in there because it's a very, very full feeling envelope. And if I recall correctly from counting the larger size of this I had, there's a ton of tissue in there because there's so many very large skirt pieces. This one is in a size 11, so it's for a 31.5-inch bust, which is pretty tiny, but it's pretty lovely anyway. We have a couple more size 20s here that seem to be in good condition. The first is for this 40s dress, and you've got this kind of optional keyhole neckline, or you can make it with a traditional high neck. It also looks like it has optional pockets. This is just a very simple kind of straightforward 1940 style shirt dress. Here we have a size 4 boys pattern for a coat, and this one seems to be well loved. Hopefully all of the pieces are there. Here's a size 16 pattern, which is stunning and feels factory folded. I'm probably not going to keep this to myself just because I would never have an occasion to wear a dress like this, but it is gorgeous. You got this very, very full, maybe even quadruple box pleat at the back to provide volume, and then it's lightly shaped at the front just with darts, and you've got this kind of high fitted to below the bust shape, and then you've got dolmen sleeves, which is amazing, and it looks like it's shaped with little gathers underneath the bust. I like this pattern a lot. I think it's stunning. And as I said, it feels like it's in really good shape. It feels like it might even be factory folded in there. Here's a size 14 one that feels like it might also be factory folded. This is another one that I've come across before and sold. It's a really, really neat 40s design that has these optional band details that go horizontally across the body. I'm not sure how flattering that is, but I think it's a really fun way to take advantage of a vertical print fabric. You have another size 20 here, and this is a blouse pattern with a peplum. And it looks like it's supposed to include some of these transfers, so you could do a little butterfly applique design across the bust. Here we have another one that looks like it comes with transfers for some applique details. And these are all blouses with an interesting yoke design and a whole bunch of different sleeve options. And this one feels like it could be factory folded, which would be great because that means the transfers are probably intact too. This one does not feel factory folded. In fact, it feels pretty worse for wear, which is unfortunate because it's a really darling raglan sleeve shirt design pattern. This might be one that I keep for myself because these are very simple but look like they would be really comfortable and really easy to make and really great additions to any wardrobe. And I love that you can make this with a few different color options or no color at all, and that it has raglan sleeves because I find those tend to be quite flattering. Here we have a size 10 children's pattern for a really darling play suit and skirt set. And at one point it looks like this included a transfer as well, though I'm not sure will still be intact. This is a size 13 party dress pattern. Got a slightly dropped waist here and then a pleated skirt, and it looks like the front panel and the side panels are all cut in one, and then it's pleated down to fit the hems of side panels. It reminds me almost of the construction with the robe à la française, which is interesting to see in a 1950s pattern. And this feels neatly folded or potentially even factory folded. Here we have another rare size 44-inch bust pattern for a 1940s dress with some shearing at the shoulder and dolman sleeves or bishop style sleeves. This is slightly smaller but still unusual size to come across, a size 18 pattern for a 38-inch bust. This is for a wedding dress and it's absolutely gorgeous. It looks like you can make a short or long version with either short or long sleeves, and it's got really gorgeous, very flattering princess seams. Here's a size 18 pattern for a Simplicity 40s dress. This is another one that I've come across and sold before, and this one does not appear to be in particularly good shape, but hopefully all of the pieces are there and someone can overlook the poor condition of the envelope and make something really beautiful with this. Here we have a size 20 1940s pattern, really cute style, notched collar, sort of sweetheart neckline, scallopy collar. It's an interesting collar nonetheless, with a relatively short slim cut skirt and these optional ruffly pockets. Here's another size 20. I really like this design. I'm tempted to keep this one for myself. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but you have 3 darts on each side of the bodice, so almost like a sunburst design. And then you've got optional cap sleeves. You can also make a little capelet to go with this. And I love the giant bow on the sides of the skirt. I just think it is stunning. So that's one I'm highly tempted to keep for myself, but it's such a rare size and such a unique design. I feel like it could also sell for a pretty high price point. So we'll see if I keep it to myself or not. Here's another size 20. This is a relatively simple shirt dress. The interesting feature about this one is that it's got kind of inserted gathers. So you would cut this almost like a dart, and then one edge would be gathered, and then it would be seamed underneath this portion to fit it over the bust, which is kind of finicky and annoying to do, but provides really interesting, clean looking results as well. This one feels like it could be factory folded. Here's one that's definitely not factory folded, which is a shame because it's stunning. It's a really cute 1940s style blouse, and it looks like vest set. It looks like, yeah, you have a few different options, a blouse and jerkin set. And I really like the illustrations on this. There's just something very sharp and snappy looking about it. I especially like the green stripe with the green vest. Here is a skirt for a 25-inch waist and 34-inch hips. Relatively simple, just fitted with darts at the waist. Another relatively simple raglan sleeve blouse pattern. None of these have collars this time. Instead, you have a variety of bow options. Here we have another larger size 40s pattern. This one has really interesting kind of yoke details and dolmen style sleeves. And it's gathered to fit over the bust and buttons down the front. This one feels like it might be factory folded. It's got a gorgeous scallop neckline, and then you can make it with scallop cap sleeves or elbow length sleeves. It's got a little bow at the waist, which is just darling. This is a 1950s house coat or house dress, and it's just a very kind of loose fitting garment that can be belted to be a bit more flattering and a bit more appropriate to wear outside the house, though these were definitely made to be worn mostly around the house. That's the name of house dress. This is so cute. Oh my goodness, look at the back on this. So this is a party dress. It's a fitted sheath dress, and then you've got this optional kind of waistband or cummerbund or something that provides all this volume to the back, which is just glorious. Here you can see that additional panel that attaches to the cummerbund that provides all of that delicious volume. This is a 1930s pattern for a 34-inch bust. It's a gorgeous design. You've sort of got this double-breasted look to it, and you can either button it up all the way or just button it up part of the way. Looks like it has raglan sleeves that you can make either quite flouncy or with a fitted flared cuff. The envelope is pretty worse for wear, but if all the pieces are there, then that's an awesome find. Here's another 25-inch skirt pattern. This is for a 27-inch waist, and this is a really cute flared skirt pattern with a few different length and tab and pocket options. Here's a pattern I think I've sold two of in the past. I've come across it a couple times, and they always go quickly because it's really darling with these raglan style sleeves with little puffed cuffs. It's another size 20 1940s pattern, and again I like the illustration on this. I think it's early 40s, and the ladies just look very, I don't know, proper. I really enjoy the color choices and the styling choices and everything, but the pattern itself is a relatively simple shirt dress. Here we have a late 1950s blouse pattern that looks very simple. You can make this either with a collar or a kind of boat style neckline. You can make it with pockets and a placket or no closures at all, it looks like. You can just have it be a pullover blouse. It's another blouse pattern, this time in a size 13. This one has some interesting details with a pleat at the back, a collar that buttons down. It looks like you can even have it button down the back where it comes to a little point. We have a 28-inch waist flared skirt pattern from the 50s, and a 30-inch waist skirt pattern, kind of pencil skirt pattern from the 50s as well. Here's another gorgeous size 20 pattern that'll be hard pressed to sell. This one feels like it might be factory folded and has the most beautiful kind of not even double-breasted design. It's asymmetrical and buttons at the side seam of the bodice, and it looks like it buttons all the way down to the hem, and then it has dolmen sleeves, and I really love this one. I really don't want to sell it, but again, the size is so hard to come across. I'd really love for it to find a good happy home, but it's so pretty I also want to keep it for myself, so we'll see. But stunning pattern either way. Here we have a size 15 pattern. This is like a princess style party dress. It's got a basque waist at both the front and the back. It looks like you can make it with a slit at the back to reveal a petticoat underneath it. You can make it with no sleeves or with puff sleeves, and you have this kind of sweetheart neckline netting underlay, which makes it a little bit more modest. This guy is beat up to the point where I can't even tell what size it is, but this is a late 50s, early 60s suit set. Here we have a size 15 party dress pattern, which is stunning. It's got a square neckline and these super full puffy sleeves and a super full skirt as well, with a few different trimming options. Another really cute full skirted dress pattern, this one with a slightly lower square neckline, and again it looks like you can make it with a little puff sleeve blouse underneath it, or no sleeves at all. If this wasn't my size, I might be tempted to keep this just because it's darling. It's never a good sign when you find random pieces of tissue about. Hopefully I can figure out what that belongs to. But here we have another Simplicity pattern. This one is size 14, and it looks like this is for a very full skirt. It looks like you can also use it to make a petticoat or to use it to make a dress that has little dolman sleeves. Here we have a very heavily damaged doll pattern. Seems like it has a lot of instructions, but not a lot of paper. We have a boy's size 4 shirt pattern here. We have a woman's 30-inch waist full skirt that feels like it might be factory folded. Here's another lovely size 20 1940s dress. Got these really cute, almost petal-shaped kind of dolman sleeves, and it looks like it actually includes embroidery transfer paper, so you can do this floral design around the shoulder and the pockets. This one's in a size 18 for a 36-inch bust, and this is, again, just a simple kind of shirtwaist style dress. This one's probably from slightly later to the 40s. This is lovely, and this looks like it might be factory folded, though I'm not seeing instructions in there. No, the instructions are in there, and it looks like it might be factory folded. This is a beautiful late 1930s, very early 40s pattern. You've got shearing at the waist, as well as at the top of the bust. It's got a darling sweetheart neckline. You can make it with long fitted sleeves or with shorter puff sleeves. That is a beautiful pattern, and again, size 20, 38-inch bust, 41-inch hips, which is always awesome to see. This is a size 14 pattern for some really sweet blouses with a unique yoke design. This is a 14.5 Simplicity pattern that feels like it might be factory folded. You've got dolman sleeves and a large collar and a seam down the front and optional pockets. Here we have some 1960s Simplicity patterns. So we've got a suit set. This is another slightly more mod style suit set, and this one feels like it could be factory folded. Here we have a very uniquely shaped dress. It's sort of lightly flared, but it looks like it's made out of stiff fabric, so it has a very specific silhouette. And then you have a very stiff jacket worn over top of it that even exaggerates that silhouette further. This is another kind of evening gown slash suit set. This is a how to sew pattern for a smock style blouse. This feels like it could be factory folded, and this is a smock style dress from the 60s. This is a size 18 jumper dress slash smock style dress. I might actually keep this one for myself. It reminds me a bit of a pattern I followed for sewing for decades, which I ended up getting a ton of wear out of. So I'd actually love to make something similar to that, and this could be a good candidate for it. But also feels like it could be factory folded, in which case it's a good candidate for sewing too. This is a gorgeous coat pattern from the 60s. It's in a junior size 13. We have a size 12 wardrobe pattern. So these are patterns that were sold kind of to advertise themselves as being a complete wardrobe in a single pattern. So you can make a short jacket, you can make a long jacket, you can make a shawl collar dress, you can make a shawl collar coat, you can make a blouse, you can make a skirt, just tons and tons of options. I think I have this pattern up for sale, or I sold this pattern pretty recently. This is a size 10 evening gown pattern from the 60s. It's a size 12 pattern from the 60s. Again, it's sort of a sheath style dress, but this one has a whole bunch of different color options as well as necktie options. It's a slightly more fitted pattern with a ruffled neckline and optional sleeves that have ruffled cuffs. Love seeing the ruffles. This feels factory folded, and this pattern has really interesting lines. So there's actually a seam here, which you don't see too often. It looks like you can make it as a dress or a jumper and wear it over top of a sweater as modeled here. Here we have a Simplicity Jiffy pattern in size 10. It looks like you can make a dress, or you can make a blouse, or you can make a pair of shorts, or all of the above. This one's super cute. This is a size 12 pattern. It's again a how to sew pattern, so it's relatively simple and it has more thorough instructions. And you can make a skirt or a super cute jumper. This is another one of those patterns that have a whole bunch of different options. So you can make a dress, you can make a skirt, you can make a cover up, you can make a bra, you can make a pair of shorts, just lots and lots of options. This is a Jiffy Dress, so very simple dress pattern from the 60s. This is a really cute design. I actually like this a lot. It's a pattern from the later 60s for a jumpsuit, and this is so striking. Again, if this wasn't my size, I'd probably keep it. But it's made for 34-inch bust, which is a little small for me. So I'll probably pass that one on, but what a fun design and what fun styling too. Here's one that feels factory folded for a whole bunch of different skirt and skirt options. Here we have a 1940s pattern in a size 18 for a slip. You can make a full length slip, a short slip, or a half slip. It's another 24-inch waist skirt pattern with inverted pleats at the front, or a gathered waistband, or a fitted waistband. Looks like you have lots of different options with that one. This is a junior size 13 60s pattern with a pleated skirt, and it looks like these pleats are inserted into the seams. Yeah, so they have a pleat underlay or gore that you sew between the panels, which provides that volume. We have a size 12 kind of sheath dress, and this feels either factory folded or like it is missing all of the tissue because it feels very, very thin. Here's a size 20 1940s pattern, and it looks like you can make a skirt and a blouse or a dress, and it's got a very interesting wide collar that you can button down. Here's a size 15 drop-waisted 1950s design, which you can make with or without a collar. It's a very late 60s, maybe even early 70s pattern by Simplicity for a halter dress. This is a really sweet skirt for a 27-inch waist. And again, it feels like there isn't very much tissue in there, but we'll see. We have another jumper dress and blouse ensemble, and another sort of 1960s boxy swing coat design. So another suit set. There are a ton of those in here. Another one of those boxy coatish designs, but this is a proportion pattern. So they have main pattern pieces for tall, petite, and normal heights. I always hate counting the pattern pieces for those because there are just so many. Here's another late 70s design for a shirt or a jacket or a bra or a pair of pants. This is a really sweet pin-tucked, very classic 60s blouse pattern. This is a sheath style dress. It looks very, very simple. It's in a size 10. Yeah, look at how simple that would be to put together. Another size 10 60s pattern for a kind of boxy dress. And then here we have a vaguely boxy dress and a boxy coat, but you can cinch this in at the waist for a bit more definition. More of those classic 60s style blouses. I consider these classic 60s style just because of the literal Peter Pan collar, which is very iconic for that era. And also they had more narrowly cut shoulders, which is more flattering if you're a wide-shouldered person like myself. And this is actually a maternity pattern too, which I didn't initially realize. And it looks like this is a bit tatty, but hopefully all of the tissue's there. Here's a size 20 1940s pattern with a placket and optional ruffles at the sleeves. We have a 24-inch waist skirt pattern. The exact same pattern, but for a 25-inch waist. This one feels significantly more full, which makes me think the other one's missing pieces. And then we have another kind of fitted sheath dress pattern, as well as a boxy-ish raglan sleeve coat. These are the exact same pattern. One is in a size 11 and one is in a size 16. Here's a hat, headscarf, and purse pattern from the later 60s. This feels factory folded. It's in a size 10, and it's a relatively simple kind of boxy cut dress, but has a really interesting pointed yoke on it, which I've never really seen before. I pulled out a lot more of the Simplicity patterns from the bottom, and some of these look older. So here we have a doll pattern that feels like it might be factory folded for a whole bunch of different Barbie clothing options. Here's another doll pattern, but this is for a 15-inch doll. And again, it feels like it might be factory folded. Oh no, here's another one I'll want to keep. They were really darling at size 20 Simplicity pattern that has scallop details at the shoulder. It's sort of got these false button details going on, and then it buttons down the front and probably closes with a zipper at the side seam. You've also got optional scalloped pockets, and it's just so cute. The collar is even scalloped. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. That one is going to be hard to part with because it's in my size too. It's in a size 20 for a 38-inch bust. Here's a size 20 potentially factory folded vest pattern. Here's a size 16 pattern from the late 30s by Simplicity. This one appears to be in excellent condition. Actually, I take it back. It says copyright 1949, not late 1930s. And this, as I said, feels in excellent condition and has two darling sleeve options as well as a partial placket down the front. Here's a super rare size, and this one feels factory folded. This is a size 22.5 for a 41-inch bust. You've got kind of a double-breasted asymmetrical skirt closure, and then the bodice buttons down the center front. And I love these little cuffs you have going on that split at the side to mimic details of the collar. Here's a junior's pattern for a few different slip options. So you can make a fitted slip or a full slip, depending on what style of dress you're going to wear. And this, again, a fully proportioned pattern. So you have 3 different options of each style for 3 different heights. This one feels like it's got no tissue in there, so I'd be shocked if it's complete, which is unfortunate because this is a really cute V-neck style pattern with a fitted skirt and double-breasted buttons. This is a size 18 pattern that feels like it might be factory folded, and it looks like you can make a dickie, a vest, and a skirt. Actually, they call it a Mrs. two-piece dress with detachable collar and cuffs and dickie, so I was partially right. Another size 18, this is for a pencil skirt and then a sort of boxy cut jacket with really darling pockets. This is actually a very, very similar pattern, except this skirt has pleats in it. You'd have a little bit more room to walk, and this one feels like it's factory folded, and it's a size 18. I am so overjoyed by all of the size 18s in here. I get so many requests for those. They're so hard to find, so to come across so many of them is awesome. Here we have a beat up envelope, but hopefully a decent in shape pattern. And it's just a very full skirt with an optional fitted waistband or cummerbund. It looks like you can either gather or pleat the top edge of the skirt, and it's for a 26-inch waist. Here's a size 14.5 simplicity pattern for a dolman sleeve dress with a really interesting notched neckline. Wow, this one's in fantastic shape and feels factory folded. It's a size 20 dolman sleeve pin tucked blouse pattern. Look at how pale and pristine that envelope is. That's so awesome to see. This is another pale and pristine one that feels factory folded. This has a huge collar and is a 1950s blouse pattern with a few different sleeve options and a box pleat in the back. I actually just sold a pattern like this for a 38-inch waist. This one feels factory folded and is for a 36-inch waist and has very interesting details at the pocket. Here's a size 12 drop waist 1950s pattern. This is an apron pattern from the 50s. I don't think I've ever sold an apron pattern before. They're not particularly exciting to me, so they never make it to the top of my to-count pile, but maybe this one will. We have another, this isn't even an apron pattern, this is like a smock pattern. Here's a Halloween costume pattern. I should list this quickly so someone can still buy it in time for this season. This is a girl's angel, princess, and fairy costume. Feels like it might be factory folded. Here's a penguin, bunny, and lion kind of jumpsuit Halloween costume pattern. It's in a size medium, which is usually size 4 to 6. Actually, it's 6 to 8 in this case. Oh, and here we have another copy of that, and this one feels like it might be factory folded. I've unearthed some more 1940s size 20 patterns. Look at how amazing this one is, with those inserted gathered details and the inverted box pleats on the skirts. Seriously, so excited about all the size 20s in here. And here we have another one. This one's a great design. You've got that inverted box pleat at the front. You've kind of got pleated sleeve details, and then it buttons with 2 buttons at the front. And it looks like it includes a dicky pattern too. Yep, includes a dicky pattern. Watch me get demonetized for saying the word dicky. That would be just my luck. We have another stray piece that hopefully I can find a home for. This is a wrap skirt design that feels like it might be factory folded for a 26-inch waist. Here we have a 14-inch doll pattern. And we have a 15-inch baby doll pattern. This is a worse for wear looking children's pattern. It does look like the transfer sheet is in there and unused, so potentially someone would still be interested in this, but I'm kind of doubtful that everything's there given its condition. Here's a boys pattern in a size 4, and it has a little note attached to it saying pieces B and C are missing, which is not promising. That'll probably go in my free gift with purchase pile. Here we have a 26-inch waist flared skirt. Here we have a size 14 suit pattern that feels like it's got about 2 pattern pieces in there. Not particularly promising. And this is maybe a mccalls pattern. No, it's a simplicity pattern. It is for a dolman sleeve blouse, I guess, but it's missing most of the envelope, which is unfortunate, and I'm not seeing instructions in there either. Here's a size 16 blouse pattern, also not in particularly good shape and feels like it might be missing pieces, which is unfortunate because it's a neat dolman sleeve style, and you don't usually see long sleeve dolman sleeve patterns. This guy looks like it might have lost some pieces just in transit, so maybe some of the ones I mentioned earlier will find their way in here. This is a gorgeous kind of late 1930s, very early 40s pattern for a negligee or nightgown. It's got this beautiful V-neck and these little ruffled sleeves. I adore this pattern. Won't be keeping it because I'd never wear it, but it's beautiful and it's for a 40-inch bust, which is awesome. This is a 1960s pattern, and this advertised as being a one all-season wardrobe. So you can make a fitted dress. I almost called that a fluffy dress, a full-skirted dress, and you have a few different neckline options as well, and this feels like it could be factory folded. This is a size 30 shorts pattern, which I might have to keep for myself. You can make shorts or capris or knee length shorts. I'm forgetting what the name for those are. Really like that. Tempted to add this to my own stash, as I said. There's a size 12 pattern that feels factory folded from the 60s. And again, this is kind of a one season wardrobe sort of pattern. You can make a jacket, you can make a blouse, you can make a pair of shorts, or you can make a skirt or dress. This is a really cute maternity pattern in a size 14 for a 34-inch bust. It looks very comfy too. A lot of the maternity patterns just sort of look like normal patterns but made for a bump, whereas this one actually seems to consider the woman's comfort in mind, so it's an empire waisted pattern with a drawstring waistband. And as someone who's not pregnant but has a bit of a stomach right now, I think this would be super comfy just for me. But I will be selling that one. I'm not resorting to maternity patterns for myself just yet. Here's another rare pattern for a 44-inch bust. Still just overjoyed about these larger sizes. You can make a bowler out of this or this slim fitted dress with a scallop neckline. This is a coat pattern from the 30s and size 16. And this one looks pretty worse for wear, so again, would not be surprised to see it missing pieces, which is unfortunate because it's a great design. It actually looks like it comes with a skirt pattern in there too, and a short jacket pattern, so really pretty versatile as well. Here's a boys pattern. It is in a size 4 according to the very tattered flap. This is a 1950s pattern in a size 20. Gorgeous off the shoulder v-neck design with this cool flared collar, dolman sleeves, darts at the front, an optional overskirt, and feels like it might be factory folded. What a win. Another size 20 pattern, oh my goodness. It's for a really cool fitted dress with a bunch of different cuff options, and it looks like you can make a dicky to go underneath this as well. Here's a size 14, late 50s, early 60s pattern. The blouse for this is a bit boxier and more drapey, but the skirt is still very fitted. It's another kind of boxy 60s swing coat. This pattern has a super cool yoke, and it's for size 14 from the 50s. Here you have an accessory set from the 60s, so it looks like you can make a partial blouse, you can make a head wrap, or you can make a belt. They described it as being Mrs. Hood, vesty, tie belt, jacket, and sash. Here's a size 15 slip slash skirt slash petticoat set. This is a super cute early 50s pattern. You can make this scallop dress with a scallop neckline. It looks like you can make it with super full contrasting puff sleeves too, so it almost looks like it's two different pieces when it's actually the same garment. I really hope all of the pieces are in there because it feels a little light given how large those skirt pieces should be. But it looks amazing. So I'd love for this to be complete so someone could make it. All right, I don't know what's going on here, but we are completely missing the front of this envelope. It appears to be a size 12 simplicity pattern. I'm seeing a vest here and I'm seeing a skirt here, so that's what I assume this pattern is for. But without the front of the envelope, it's kind of hard to tell. Here we have a size 13 pants pattern. It's a little weird seeing a size 13 slacks pattern. Usually they're done by waist measurement, but it is probably for like a 25-inch waist, I would say. This is a 1960s pattern, very Jackie O-esque with the upright shawl collar, and then you've got a v-neck fitted dress with double darts on each side. Very, very pretty. This is a 1930s boys pattern, boys shirt pattern in a size 12 by Simplicity. I don't know if I've ever seen a men's pattern from this period. That's interesting. Here we have some instructions and some random pieces. These instructions appear to be nibbled by something at some point. So again, they'll probably go in my freebie pile. This is a Simplicity pattern in a size 16, probably from the 1950s, with a large collar and dolman sleeves. Here's a size 20 Simplicity pattern. I'd be really excited about this, except I don't think there's any tissue in there. It feels completely empty, which is unfortunate because it's for a really neat slip and tap pant set. This is amazing. Oh my goodness, I don't want to sell this, but I should. This feels factory folded, size 20 Simplicity pattern from the late 1930s. Got this really cool pleated skirt with the pleats top stitched down. Got a placket at the front and gathers over the shoulders. You make it with puffed short sleeves or bishop sleeves. Just amazing. And then here we have a size 12 1950s girls pattern for a very summery looking dress with gathers at the front and back and a sweetheart neckline. I just saw this little piece of thread moving and thought it was a bug and nearly had a heart attack, but it's not, so we're good. This is a baby's layette set, at least I think that's what that's traditionally called. And it's a little worse for wear, so again, probably one for the freebie pile. This is a size 12 Simplicity pattern for a jumpsuit. This is part of the envelope for something. This is a housecoat pattern for a 44.5-inch bust. That's awesome to see. The envelope is obviously pretty beat up here, but hopefully the tissue paper itself is in okay shape. They describe it as a Mrs. and Woman simple to make housecoat, smock, and beach coat in half sizes. Actually, I take it back. It's not for a 44.5-inch bust. It's for a size 14.5. So it is a petite size, which is still rare and nice to see, but not a plus size. However, here we have a size 40 Simplicity pattern. Again, this envelope is kind of broken open, so I'm not confident all the pieces are there, but it's a really beautiful wrap style house dress. Here's a size 16 suit pattern for the 1940s. You have a fitted longer short sleeve jacket and a pleated skirt. Say size 16 1950s blouse with a darling shawl collar. Say a smock style, potentially even maternity pattern by Simplicity from the 60s. This is another smock style, potentially maternity pattern from the 60s. Actually, they just described it as being a nightgown, pajamas, and laundry bag pattern. So I'm mistaken. It does look very comfy though, and like you could pull it off if you were pregnant. Here's a late 60s simple to make juniors pattern for a 25.5-inch waist. It feels factory folded. Someone has gone through in here with a pencil and drawn stripes on all of these socks or leggings. Here's a 32-inch waist size Simplicity pattern from the 60s. The tissue in there is pretty crumpled, but hopefully it's complete. And you can make a full circle skirt, a half circle skirt, or a quarter circle skirt. I've never seen a pattern quite like that before. That's interesting. And super easy to draft yourself. Here's a beach set by Simplicity from the later 60s. I guess not even a beach set. They describe it as a bathing suit, back wrap, skirt, and beach shift or shirt. So you sort of have it styled like you could wear this on a daily basis, but also like it is a beach swimming costume. So that's a little weird, but nice pattern nonetheless. Here's a very empty feeling skirt pattern by Simplicity. I'd be shocked if there's more than one piece in there, but this is just for a pleated kind of full skirt. We have another one of those shawl collar swing coats from the 60s. This is a very worse for wear Simplicity pattern for a set of shorts. Again, would be shocked if all the pieces are there, but we'll see. This is another very Jackie O-ish pattern with that dolman sleeve jacket and then either a fitted or full skirt. We have a Mrs. Blouse pattern from the 50s. Again, feels like some tissue and potentially the instructions are missing, which isn't too big of a loss because this is a pretty simple, boring design. This design, however, is really cool. You've got these notched armholes, arm size. You can make it with a collar or with a little mandarin-style tie. Another size 20 Simplicity pattern here. Feels like it might be missing pieces though because the top is completely slashed, which would be a shame. This is such a cool style and I love how they've demoed it with a whole bunch of contrasting front fabrics. You've got an optional side button or decorative side button closure, which is great too. This is a size 15 late 40s or early 50s skirt suit set. So you have a very fitted jacket with double darts on each side and then either a fitted or a flared skirt. Another little apron pattern here. Another skirt pattern here. Again, you can make a pencil skirt or a full skirt. A very common design. This one is for 26-inch waist. I think it's all like 60s patterns left, so if that doesn't particularly interest you, I won't be offended if you bounce out, but I'm going to keep going through these, though probably at a slightly faster speed. We have another Simplicity How to Sew pattern for a wrap skirt for 25.5-inch waist. Here's a Simplicity Jiffy pattern that feels like it might be factory folded for a whole bunch of different skirt designs. This is a toddler pattern for a really sweet pleated dress. This one feels like it could be factory folded, so did the last one, and this one is for kind of a drop-waist 60s girls dress. It's another size 10 girls dress design, but it's not a dress, it's more of like a house coat or a robe. They refer to it as being a robe. Here's a suit set that feels like it could be factory folded in a size 8. And this one feels like it might be factory folded too, and it's also in a size 8 for a pleated skirt and shirt. Here's a worse for wear, very puffy tissue feeling 50s pattern for a gorgeous blouse that actually has a V kind of cut neckline at the back that's just gorgeous. We have a girl size 8 pattern for a shift dress / shirt and short set. We have a size 2 pleated toddlers pattern, sort of a smock style dress pattern for a child size 6. Another girl size 10 pattern for a suit, and a girl size 8 pattern for a dress. It's a girl size 10 pattern for a suit. It looks almost school uniform-esque. We have a size 4 pattern for a mandarin style kind of smock top, and then you also have a pair of pants. This is a child size X. I don't know what the X means. Perhaps that's like chubby children. I know that was like an entire line of branding in the 60s. But again, you've got sort of a smock style dress that looks like a pair of pants. It's a child size 6 loosely fitting dresses with a few different neckline options. Another size 6 for shift dresses with shorts. This is a cape pattern that feels factory folded in a size 6, and it looks like you can also make a dress from this. I actually just sold one of these patterns, and I think it was also in a size 10. It's for a jumper dress. This is an earlier pattern, probably from the 40s by Simplicity, for a boys shorts and shirt set in a size 3. And this is another size 6X pattern for a really darling dress with optional smocking at the front. I really hope that's complete and includes the smocking transfer, because then it's a lot more valuable than it would be without that. Here we have a size 10 jumpsuit pattern by Simplicity. This is an interesting late 60s pattern for an 8-year-old. I've never seen a back quite like that before, but this is again sort of a loosely fitting, very simple shirt, and then you can make flared pants or shorts. Here's a jumper dress pattern in a size 4 that feels factory folded. A pajama pattern and a robe pattern in a size 1. This is a size 18 pattern from the late 60s, early 70s, and it looks like you can make a cape as well as possibly a pencil skirt. Yes, a cape and a pencil skirt pattern. And then this we just saw, but this is in a larger size, and it's again a jumpsuit from the early 70s. It says designed for knit fabrics only, which is another iconic feature of patterns from the 70s. Here we have a late 60s pattern filled to the brim with tissue. Oh my goodness, there's so much tissue paper in there. And this is a size 14 set of dresses and jacket options. See another probably 70s pattern, late 60s for vests. Really ugly vest in my opinion, but don't tell that to whoever ended up buying it. Looks like you might be able to make a blouse too. No, just for the vest. Wow, that's interesting. This is a tunic top and pants set. It's a size 14 kind of sporting ensemble. Again, designed for knit fabrics only. So you've got a wrap skirt with optional pockets, and then you can also make a tunic. Is that supposed to be a dress? Because seriously, oh my god. I guess it is a dress, tunic, and top pattern, and then you can also make pants. Here's a little boys pattern that feels factory folded in a size 4. We have a mccalls pattern in a size 12 for a cape and a pair of pants. It's a Simplicity 7-day ensemble pattern. So again, you have one of those full wardrobe patterns, and this one's in a size 16. Another mccalls pattern, this one is size 10 for a poncho and a pair of pants. You don't see poncho patterns very often these days. Here we have a mccalls pattern in a size 14 for a dress with pleats. This is a tunic and a vest pattern, also in a size 14. Here we have a romper and a pants and a skirt and a jacket pattern in a size 10. Kind of a tunic style dress with a yoke, as well as a heavily flared jumpsuit pattern. My goodness. And it looks like you can even make it as a full-length dress too. This is a jumper dress and blouse pattern. Here we have a little boys sort of romper jacket pattern. A little girls tunic style pattern with raglan sleeves. Sort of a sheath dress pattern from the late 60s in size 14. Another little girls pattern in a size 12 for a drop waist dress with a circular skirt. It's definitely 70s. I'm probably not even going to bother to list this one, just for some tunic style dresses with bishop sleeves. This one is super interesting. Look at that collar. It's got such a big collar that you can basically pull it up like a hood. Never seen that before. This is a shift style dress pattern with a V-neck, and this is a wrap dress. Set of skirts in 2 lengths. Another 70s pattern, this is in a size 9 or 10, for a dress with a few rows of gathers, so it can either hit at the waist or be more of an empire style. The Fashion Dolls wardrobe, so this would be a Barbie pattern for an 11.5-inch doll. This is a size 1 Helen Lee pattern. If I recall correctly, her patterns tend to sell for quite a bit. So this is for a toddler's dress, angel top, bloomers, and bubble romper with applique. Very, very cute. These are some worse for wear patterns. Again, probably not even going to bother listing these because they're so tatty and they're from the 70s and they just won't sell for enough to justify the investment in listing them. Probably same situation here. I'll try and sell them in a lot on eBay at some point, I guess. Here we have a vintage pattern hiding among the more recent ones, and this is a Simplicity transfer pattern. I don't know if it includes the apron pattern or if that's just an example of how you could use these. Here's a sheath dress pattern in size 10 by Simplicity, and it looks like, no, it does not have a pants pattern. It has a dress pattern and overdress pattern, in case you want even more dressage. Not dressage, dressage. This is a wrap skirt pattern for 24-inch waist. Feels like it could be factory folded. Another one that feels like it might be factory folded, a very simple dress with a seam at the center front and an interesting yoke. This is a super cute, simple pattern. Again, you've got darts at the bust, a seam down the front, and little ties at the shoulder. An empire waisted size 10 design. A size 12 potentially factory folded pattern, and it looks like it has little shorts that go underneath it. So it's a Mrs. Play dress and shorts pattern. And this is the exact same pattern, but this one does not feel factory folded and it's in a larger size 14. And we just saw this pattern too, but this time it's in a size 12. Here's a how to sew pattern that feels like it is missing all of the pieces. And this one actually feels factory folded. This is a wrap dress or top pattern. In a size 14 and 12. A very simple, potentially factory folded size 10 pattern. This one does not feel factory folded, which is a shame because it's even cuter than the last. You've got a lot of very full, fun sleeve options here. And then this one feels like it could be factory folded, and this is just a V-neck empire waisted design. We have some more mccalls ones here in a size 10. This one's in a size 6, a little toddler set. Here are some 60s hats, some 27-inch skirts or skirts. This one's probably missing pieces based on how it looks, but this is a size 12 romper and bathing suit set. This is a jumpsuit slash wrap skirt set. It's in a size 18 for a 40-inch bust, and it feels like it could be factory folded. I've never seen a wrap skirt worn on top of pants before. That's an interesting combo. This is like a tunic dress slash shirt slash pants combo, and again, size 18. Oh my goodness, I just realized this is a face here. I thought that was like a feather or something. That's so creepy. She's just like staring out at you ominously. My God. And this is a size 14 jumpsuit or empire waisted dress pattern. This is one that will be given away for free or thrown out because it's in such bad shape. It's a size 16 60s pattern. Again, it's a proportion pattern, so it is fitted for a few different heights. This one feels like it's missing a lot of pieces, but it's a very simple 60s pattern. This one feels like it could be factory folded. It's got some of those iconic 60s details, but it's also veering more into the silhouette that was popular in the 70s. This one feels factory folded too. It's in a size 12 and it's for a skirt slash short slash blouse set. This one feels like it could be factory folded. It's hard to tell. This is a 9JP sized pattern. I think JP is junior petite, but it's for a 32.5 inch bust, and it's a pleated skirt and blouse set. Here's a junior's dress and jacket pattern. This is a size 18 kind of tunic dress pattern. And here's a size 10 vest and pleated skirt pattern. Maybe blouse pattern too. Nope, just the skirt and vest. And this one feels factory folded. All right, we're down to the last batch. Here's another super damaged one that's probably going straight in the donate pile. This is a size 6 mccalls pattern, which is super cute. This is a square dance costume pattern by mccalls, and I actually just sold one of these, the exact same pattern, and this one feels like it might be factory folded. I've sold this pattern before too, and this one is not factory folded, and the size information is missing, but should be written on the pieces. Here we have a bag pattern by mccalls. This one feels like it's missing pieces. It's a size 9/10 sort of tunic pants vest pattern. Here we have a robe pattern that feels factory folded in a size 14. Here's another super damaged one. This one's made for a 25.5 inch waist and it's a wrap skirt. This is a size 11/12 dress slash pants pattern. This one feels like it's missing pieces, very tatty and crumpled in there. Same can be said for this and this. And this one feels like it could be factory folded. It's a size 14 suit set. So you can make shorts, pants, a vest, or a jacket. And then we have a few lonesome buttered patterns and one more simplicity apparently that also feels like it's missing pieces. Actually, we have a couple more simplicity ones. So here we have pants, skirts, jackets. This is a jacket and dress set. This is a jacket, shirt, blouse, and dress set. Here we have a kids buttered pattern, a size 6 that feels factory folded. Another size 6, but this one feels like it's been used. This is a children's or baby's layette set. So those are all the different things you can make out of it. And here we have two more size 6 patterns that feel factory folded, which are for kind of flared dresses and blouses for girls. So that is this giant lot.
So that's it for this video. At the time I thought I got a pretty good deal for this lot, but looking back on it, I don't think it was as amazing of a deal as I originally thought. There were just so many patterns from the 60s which are not particularly valuable in here, but there were some real gems from the 1940s too. So I don't regret it, but I don't look back on it and think, wow, what a steal either. Now in the future, I plan on having much smaller pattern hauls consisting of between 20 and 50 patterns. And hopefully at the time those hauls go live, I will also have an estimated publishing date for those patterns on Etsy. So after watching me open each one, you will also have the opportunity to buy them if you're interested. But since this lot was so large and covered such a range of decades and sizes, these patterns have just been sorted into my normal organizational system and aren't going to be listed all at once or in any particular order. So unfortunately, I can't tell you if any of these patterns have sold or when and if they'll be available in the future, but I would encourage you to follow me on Instagram for other shop previews, which might include some of these patterns. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to all of you very soon. If you choose to subscribe at least, which you definitely should.